I'd say Prescott, the quarterback. Now, he's not even in camp right now, and they signed Andy Dalton. And don't get me wrong, I think Dalton is vastly underrated from the Cincinnati days. I mean, to have a winning record in Cincinnati with Marvin Lewis as your coach is very impressive. But he never got them over the hump. I mean, I think he's better than Tannehill. I think he's better than Carr. I think he's better than Mariota. But I don't think he's that person that's going to take you over the hump unless he has the right pieces around him. But I don't think he's better than Prescott. And then now you look at their offensive line, which has been their strength. They've had injuries on the front, and their Frederick, who is the key to the whole thing, because he was a center position, he just retired. So I always rank offensive lines, because I'm a very big offensive line and defensive line person for fantasy football and also for betting wise. And they historically have been one on my list. They're down at 6 this year. So that's a huge downgrade for that offensive line. Now let's look at Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott, he's a little chunkier. And he wasn't as good as he was in years past last year. Maybe it was the holdout. Maybe he came into camp out of shape. But once that kid gets paid, once a young kid gets paid, how much does their work ethic change? Coming into shape? I don't think so. So he's out of shape. And then let's look at CeeDee Lamb. You have CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper. That's 3 square pieces with no triangle piece. Who's going to play the slot? Amari Cooper? Who? CeeDee Lamb? I mean, which one of those guys are going to play in the slot? I don't know. It's not. I guarantee it won't be Gallup. So between Cooper and Lamb, it's going to be one of those two. So they're going to kind of be out of position. And now let's look at the defense. They lost Quinn. So, and now don't get me wrong, I love Bradley and Eve. They got the kid from Utah. Is he going to be able to constantly supply pressure rushing the quarterback? I don't know. I don't think so. Because I believe every offensive line in the AFC East has gotten better and won't be giving up as many sacks. I mean, Haskins is young. Because he's an idiot, he may give up some, but that's just one team. Giants' offensive line is better. Eagles' offensive line will be better. Then let's look at their secondary. It's young. There's some young kids in that secondary. So the more and more I'm starting to look at the pieces they have, I'm starting to second guess myself on them. They're minus 123. Minus 123 just to win the NFC East, which is insane. And now let's start thinking about Mike McCarthy. My whole thing is when a coach hasn't been around the game, how much is he learning? I know someone said he started to work at Pro Football Focus, but how much work was McCarthy really doing? When you're not around the game, you tend to not be educated with what's going on. So did he take that year away from the game and learn? I'm thinking no. And then you look at their schedule. Their first 3 games, they could be 0-3 to start the season. They have at the Rams, Sunday Night Football, Rams opening up a new stadium. The Falcons, who are going to be tough. The Falcons have a great offense. I really think Matt Ryan is insanely undervalued this year. And then on the road at Seattle. They could be 0-3 and out of it. If you start 0-3, you're not making the playoffs. Even in the crappy NFC East, you're not making the playoffs. So the more and more I just start thinking about this team, the more I'm starting to question how good they're going to be able to do. Well, that's it today for the ETOF 2-1 Sports Podcast. Loaded day of sports. It looks like we're going to lose 1 unit on German League Soccer, unfortunately. All my horse racing stuff is up for Tampa Bay, Churchill Downs, and Gulfstream Park. The West Coast tracks, those don't start until 2:30 Chicago time and 2:45 Chicago time, respectively. I will put up those plays around 2. Got to wait to see what the scratches are and how the track is and everything, all that good stuff. So make sure you check out ETOF21 _ horse _ racing for all those picks. And make sure that you keep checking the Instagram page and the Twitter page for the free plays. Like I said, I'm going to be giving out free plays all the way to June 1st just to help you guys make up some money. And then packages will start shaping in. My spreadsheets for my year to date, all that stuff can be on my website, etoff21sports.com. Check that out if you want to see how my work has been for the year. Also, make sure you check out the That's What G Said podcast. As soon as he posts that, I'll have the link up in my bio for the second part of the podcast where I break down the teams. And, I know the country's starting to open up, but let's not be dumb. Let's not go out there, be face-to-face with people and everything, and let's try to keep our social distancing. I'll get swiping on those dating apps. If I have any stories, I'll let you guys know. Stay safe. Be well. Don't drink too much. I will see you guys Monday.